Welcome back to another fine edition of the GRP Cars and Coffee vlog. Today we're out here for our third Cars and Coffee of the year, and you already know the drill. Let's go ahead and get into it.
We're here at Rahal Performance. Welcome to Cars and Coffee.
Whose performance is it?
Rahal Performance.
Oh,
Graham Rahal?
Graham Rahal?
Gramithy?
It's
Gramithy? Gramithy Rahal?
It's his performance.
It's his performance.
Oh. As we mentioned, we like to highlight a couple cool cars. This is one of our friends right here. He comments on a lot of our YouTube videos, a lot of our stuff. Super great. Glad to have him around. Shout out to non-vaping Subi. Zach? I know we're not like big Subi guy per se, but what are some things that catch your eye right off the bat?
I don't know a ton about Subi, so I'm sure I'm gonna get flamed in the comments. But some of the few things that interest me are the Sparko wheels. Very quintessential like rally look to the wheels. I thought that was really cool. And in any car, probably my favorite feature is the manual transmission.
Gotta have the manual transmission.
Momo Racing steering wheel. This car does appear to be like daily too, which is, we love our daily cars. We love people that drive their cars, And another one of my favorite things, probably the most interesting thing on this car, is the rally light setup, as well as the Japanese plate.
Again, we want to give a huge shout out to our friend. Thanks for commenting all the time. Thanks for the continued support. And now we're kind of floating through another lot looking for some cool stuff. Anything kind of catching your eye off the bat, Z?
Well, we got a lot of either car clubs or just a lot of friends with similar cars. As you can see right here, we got Audi. We got the whole Audi group out here.
So many Audis just up and down.
I want to say I saw like a BMW group show up too. I don't think they're in this lot, but
yeah, I think they're in maybe the next lot over.
I do see a really interesting colored Porsche over here. It looks like a 992 generation. You want to check that out.
So here we are over here, kind of like we talked just a second ago. There's a neat 992 Porsche. I don't think I've seen this color on anything that we've had before.
No, I haven't either. This is pretty interesting. I can't tell. It's a Porsche 992 Turbo S. I want to say maybe like Glacier Blue or something like that, but to be honest, I've never.
Let's stop teasing the audience here. Let's just go
do
ahead
it,
and show
let's
them.
do it.
So here we are, Z. We've got this 992. I have not seen this livery or this color like anywhere.
No, I haven't either. Honestly, I really don't know anything about this. I don't know. Like obviously we're well past the 20th anniversary of Porsche. I think we're getting close to the 80th.
Sad, obviously at this point.
Yeah, I don't know, but this is interesting. I mean, they really went pretty crazy with the details here. I mean, a few things that stick out. We got the clear taillights. I don't know if you noticed the color match the little slats in here.
Oh, that's tight.
That's really cool.
That looks so good.
On top of the goldish bronze wheels to match the livery, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it does match that. If you can tell, this like color of the wheels actually kind of matches on this 20 here.
Then I'll be the first to say I'm usually not a fan of like colored convertible soft tops, but this actually looks pretty cool with the like dark blue over the light.
Yeah, it might be hard to tell in the light. I don't know if you can really see it, but this is more of a blue as compared to a black tone as most would be. So it is an automatic though, which 992.
They don't.
Right, they don't make them manuals, so we'll take it at this point. But
gorgeous car though.
Yeah, dude, it looks fantastic. Like we were just talking about, our friends over at Vintage Indy here in Indianapolis were very kind enough to let us into their space. Zach, I mean, this is just incredible. If we start looking here, we've got race-winning cars from the Indy 500. This is Eddie Cheever's. I mean, there is just so much history in this building just on its own. And this isn't even like, there's multiple rooms over here. We'll have to show everybody, but like,
man, every time they let us in here and let us take a look around, it's always such a treat, man. There's so many cool things in here. I mean, there's just so much heritage going back to, as far as 1948, there's so much history and heritage here. It just really is, walking through here is like, straight up like taking a walk back through time.
It's a time capsule, 100%. And not only do they have like different cars kind of here around, they also have a lot of old race memorabilia as well, whether it's fire suits or pit jackets in the back corner here. You know, engines, there's engines everywhere. Wheels, all of the above, but these guys are just class act. And you know, anytime we have Cars and Coffees, I'd say 90% of the time they've got something outside, like the one we showed earlier, that's just incredible. You're really not gonna see anywhere else. They show the history of the 500 incredibly well. I mean, like we mentioned earlier, this is essentially a time capsule. And what you'll see here, not too unlike many other car garages around, but also very unlike any other car garages around, we have so many cars that are awaiting restoration. These guys do an incredible job over here at actually fabricating, rebuilding. Kind of behind Zach here, you can see they've got them down to the tub. They work on every single aspect. And over here's another great kind of insight to it. You can see just how much effort gets put into breaking these down bit by bit, all the way to the chassis, all the way to the engine. They take those apart piece by piece. And again, they just do an incredible job of maintaining really the history of Indy, but not even the history of Indy by itself. Also, something that we both love over here, and you can kind of see it peeking through the back, is this beauty right here.
This is a Porsche 962.
And not just any
This is a Kenwood
962.
livery Porsche.
It's a Kenwood.
And I don't know if you also saw, you see right here, just peeking through. That's a Rothman's hood for another 962 right there. Crazy. Crazy.
But yeah, again, this is some of the greatest Le Mans heritage that you can see, again, right here in Indianapolis. Really, some of the greatest racing in the world at the Indy 500. Not only that, obviously at Le Mans as well, and it's all right here in Indianapolis. So we're actually gonna pop outside right now. We've got another IndyCar legend, Bobby Rahal, Graham's dad. He's here today at Cars and Coffee, and we're gonna talk to him a little bit about some of these older style cars that he drove compared to cars before his time and the current IndyCar models. So let's pop outside and check it out.
Everything I drove had ground effect in it, so these cars weren't very that fast in the corners, but they're very quick down the straightaways, and of course the power was really unlimited at that time. By this time they'd started to limit it, but in the early 70s it was, they were 1,000 horsepower, and it was just a different era. But they're beautiful cars, and so it's. And of course, every car, not every car, but there's a lot of difference in the 500 field in those days. Today, there's very little difference. Yeah, it represents a great era, for sure.
All right, so we're here with Zach and our new friend, Al Mori. Al, what do you race currently?
I drive a 2024 Lamborghini Super Trofeo Evo 2.
Okay, and what were you saying that you actually raced last year?
Last year I was in USF 2000, which leads to IndyCar.
So you've run some open wheel racing before. You're obviously racing Super Trofeo now. How does that stuff compare to something like this? Do you think that you would hop in something a little bit different like this at some point?
100%. I would love to drive something like that at one point. The biggest difference I think is the weight. You get out, the USF car weighed around 1,200 pounds fully loaded.
Okay.
And had around 180 horsepower, so it was quite quick. And then you get in the Lamborghini, it weighs about 3,000 pounds, 650 horsepower. So you get the traction control, you get the ABS, and it's a whole different feel. The car's big. You're sitting on the left side instead of the middle, so you kind of got to decide. Oh, I've got this much more car on the right, but it's a big adjustment, but it's been good so far.
So I know you obviously raced some pretty fast cars in your life. Have you ever seen a turbo as big as the one that's on the back of this car?
No. No, everything I've driven's been naturally aspirated in the racing world, so I think that's pretty killer, to be honest.
Yeah, well, thanks so much for your time today. We appreciate you. Good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
And we'll see you on the next one.
All right.
So continuing our walk down the street, me and Zach actually found, well, hold on, because we got a dry clutch on a Street Fighter, and you can't not love that sound.
The dry clutch is iconic, man.
Dude, but we've got something here that we found on the street. It's newer to the U.S., kind of, right?
Now, I'm not super knowledgeable on my JDM cars.
Please don't flame Zach in the comments.
But I believe this is a S15 Silvia V-Spec R. Also followed by Nissan R32. I don't know if it's a GTR. I'm pretty sure it is, right behind it. Just a real special car, man. I mean, I believe these are just now legal to be imported into the U.S. So this is actually the first one I've seen, and it looks like complete, right? So it doesn't look like there's like anything wrong with it or like it was abused or anything like this. It looks like a really clean S15, at least from a first glance. And with the BBS wheels, I mean, this is such a gorgeous car, man. This might actually be one of my favorite cars here today.
So this is our third Cars and Coffee of the year. Right now, me and Zach are kind of floating around, checking out some of these other lots that are down the road. But overall, it's been a pretty good turnout. I mean, we've had a lot of new cars, a lot of old cars, a lot of good friends, new faces as well. I mean, there's been a lot of cool stuff here today, and I'm really happy with the turnout so far.
No, I agree, man. Just looking around even right now, there's still so many cars to look through. I mean, there's still 2 or 3 extra lots we haven't even been through yet, and it's 10:30. Like we are.
I know, we're just getting into the thick of it. So let's see what we got going on behind the building over here. So speaking of crazy builds and new faces, we have one of our local friends here, John. John, how you doing?
Good, yourself?
Doing well. Hey, so you've got a pretty crazy build here that we've never seen before. What is it?
It's a 1980 Dodge D50 pickup. So Mitsubishi made them and imported them to the U.S. Dodge and Plymouth both have private labels for a couple years.
So where do you even come up with a build for something like this?
The deep end of the crazy mind is a scary place to be, and this is what you end up with. Actually, this is the second paint job I've had on it. It got wrecked once before, so this is what I did with it after.
Okay, so what are a couple of your favorite details that we can show on the internet?
Well, the base coat is actually a Lamborghini Tri-Coat color. So
okay.
It'd be a 2016 Gallardo, if I remember right. So it's a Tri-Coat paint. But there's about 300 hours of airbrush work. There's funny things like Waldo.
Oh, Waldo is hiding in there.
There are guns that are etched onto the rotors. You can kind of see because it's got a whole Western theme, so all the rotors are etched. The doors don't open, the hood doesn't open, nothing other than the back case opens. It's an automatic, like 4,000 watts of kicker stuff in it. It moves pretty fast.
So that's awesome. Well, John, we appreciate you talking about your build a little bit with us today.
No worries.
And thanks for coming out.
Absolutely.
Thanks again for supporting the GRP Cars and Coffee vlog. Again, we're super thankful for you guys being here. A lot of awesome cars, a lot of old faces, a lot of new faces. And again, we can't do these events without you or the help from our vendors. And we thank everybody so much for being a part of what makes these days so special. We'll catch you in the next one.